Hello and welcome back to Food as Fuel, a series on the subject of food and the science of nutrition. I'm Nicola Moore, a registered nutritional therapist and head of clinics at the Institute for over 10 years. Today we're going to cover a subject that we're asked about all the time. This question is, should we be taking supplements? Well, I suppose the first thing we should think about is, what do we mean by supplements? Supplements really to me means anything that's in addition to the food that we eat, that we add into our diet in a supplementary form to try and support our health and well-being. Supplements don't just include things like vitamins and minerals. Many of the people I work with are interested to find out whether they should be taking things like protein powder or extra digestive enzymes or probiotics, beneficial bacteria to support the gut. All of these are supplements. When it comes to supplements, I think one of the problems that we're faced with as a consumer is the fact that we can buy supplements very easily on any high street. You can go into the supermarket, into a health food shop, you can get advice from people who don't necessarily even know much about your circumstances. The fact is that because supplements are so readily available, it almost gives the impression that you can take as many different varieties of supplements as you like. And sometimes I've met people who think the more they take, the healthier they're actually going to be. But this isn't necessarily the case. It's really important to understand how things like vitamins and minerals and these other products work in your body and how you as an individual need those sorts of things. Do you have a deficiency of a certain vitamin or mineral? Is your diet low in protein, or do you find protein very, very hard to absorb? And so is a protein supplement going to be helpful for you or not? Are the supplements that you're taking actually taking away from the fact that you should actually be eating a proper balanced meal? These are all the questions that we should be asking ourselves before we start spending money on supplements. Now, I'm not saying that all supplements are bad, and actually a lot of the time taking supplements for a short period of time can be very, very helpful for helping people to get their health back on track. And this is especially true if they know from an individual perspective what their nutritional status is and what their requirements are, and where there are maybe shortfalls for the moment in their diet. So supplements can be incredibly beneficial. You can get lots of different types of supplement though, and none is truer when you're looking at how minerals and vitamins are put together, how they're manufactured. We need to consider how they're manufactured, what else is added into a product, and also how easy it's going to be for your digestive system to actually be able to break that supplement apart and allow you to absorb the important ingredients inside that are going to be considered so beneficial for your health. So let's take calcium as a really good example of a common supplement that's often prescribed. We understand calcium to be incredibly important for bone health, and most certainly if bone health is a concern for you and you've had a condition such as osteopenia or osteoporosis picked up, then understanding your calcium requirements, especially from your diet, is going to be really important. When it comes to supplements, calcium comes in a range of different forms. For example, a very common form of buying calcium is through the molecule calcium carbonate. This is a very cheap and easy to process supplement. However, calcium carbonate as a molecule is actually quite difficult for our guts to break down. You need really quite robust digestive processes in place to allow that calcium molecule to be extracted and absorbed through your gut into your system. So if you're older, it may be that your digestive processes aren't quite so good, or if your microbiome isn't working optimally, that can influence things as well. A calcium citrate, on the other hand, is a different form of calcium, which does seem to be actually better tolerated and easier for people to absorb. But calcium doesn't just work on its own, and this is another misnomer when it comes to supplements. When looking at supplements, it's worth considering how food is created in nature and how nutrients are packaged together by nature to work effectively. Calcium requires other minerals, for example, magnesium, to be able to work effectively, to be absorbed and to to be deposed into the bone in order for the bone to be healthy. But the same applies for vitamins. Vitamin D is also really, really important in how it works with calcium. So if you're wanting to take a calcium supplement, it's worth asking yourself additional questions like, should I be having actually magnesium? Would magnesium actually be supporting how calcium is used in my body in the first place? Do I have a higher requirement for vitamin D? Should I be getting that looked at and assessed to see if I'm deficient? And do I need to be taking extra vitamin D as a consequence? So can we get, or should we be able to get, everything we need from diet and diet alone? This is such a difficult question to try and answer, because when you look at food, you need to consider a range of different things. For example, where the food has been produced, how it's been produced, the quality of the soil, the storage, where it's travelled from, how it's been stored in that environment, and then how you store and cook and prepare the food. All of these things are going to have an influence on the ultimate nutritional content of the food that you're eating. So it's a difficult one to answer. I think that looking at how organic farming or local farming that reduces the need for lots of pesticides and encourages a rich and diverse soil that's rich in the nutrition that we need for the plants to grow is a really good thing to consider when looking at getting good nutrition from your food. And that's because a lot of the plants that are produced in an organic environment actually have to produce their own defense mechanisms to support the strength of that plant. And in doing so, they don't just create vitamins and minerals or have vitamins and minerals within them. They're also producing these other compounds, plant chemicals, referred to as phytonutrients, that are now being explored and being considered to be really, really important to our health in a whole new way, and could be considered the new vitamins and minerals, or equally as important. So there are some diets or ways of eating that may increase our requirement to have nutritional supplements. A good example of this would be a vegan diet, and that's because eating a vegan diet naturally reduces our exposure to things like iron, vitamin B12, and also iodine as well. So understanding your levels of these nutrients is a very important thing to do, and then finding ways to supplement to support your health could be very beneficial for you. Okay, so the takeaways for this week when it comes to supplements. 3 things for you to think about this week. Number 1, have a look in your cupboards. Are you a collector of supplements? Do you have a cupboard full of different supplements that you've bought in good faith over the years but maybe not finished? Do a little bit of an inventory of what you've got and take a look at things like the expiry dates. It could be time for a clear out and for you to start afresh. Number 2, this comes back to food again. Are you eating a wide range of different foods? Do you make sure that you're getting the protein into your diet when you have a meal? Are you considering the fats that you're exposed to and all of the different range of foods, whether it's plant foods, animal proteins, and everything else in between? Exposing yourself to a wide and varied diet is going to increase your chances of not only eating a wide range of different nutrients to keep you healthy, but also to support your gut in order that you can absorb the food well and ultimately thrive. And number 3, thinking about these flavonoids again, these plant chemicals that I spoke about and the importance that they play in health. It's not just about variety. This week, really start looking at the different colours of food that you eat, because the colours in food equals a compound that's going to be helpful for your health. So when it comes to vegetables and fruits and things like that, ask yourself, do I have something purple? Do I have something green? Do I have any reds, oranges, yellows? All of that. So you don't have to eat all of those different colours every single day, but when you're thinking about your weekly food intake, are you getting a collection of different colours of foods coming in? Doing so is going to really encourage your exposure to these different plant compounds that I think over the years we're going to hear more and more about. So I hope you found that helpful. Remember, if you're worried about the supplements that you're taking or you feel confused, then it's worth speaking to a registered nutritional therapist who can work with you to look at what you're doing, answer your questions, and make some sensible recommendations for you based on your own personal needs and your own personal nutritional requirements. You're very welcome to come to the Institute for Optimum Nutrition. We have clinics here, have student nutritional therapists, but also graduated practitioners as well, who will be more than happy to work through all of these and other things with you to support your health. In the meantime, I hope you have a lovely week and we will see you again next time. Bye-bye.